So if I'm going to be helping nonprofits, I also have to think like a nonprofit. And what I want to do today is take a bit of a pause and give folks an update on how the funding campaign is not only going, but more importantly, how it works, because I want to use this to also illustrate and learn what it's like to operate in the current environment. So I did a recent video on why I didn't choose and do Kickstarter for this initiative. And that's ultimately because I'm going to be working with the Connect Center in Cohoes, New York. Ben Williams, who I'm going to be doing a amazing event with him and Julia Campbell on March 18th, has talked about the impact that the game has had on him. Have another video about that if you're interested in checking that out. But what I've also been doing is actually been working with him for a few years now on how he utilizes his CRM. So I'm actually going to give you a showcase on how I've set it up for a fiscal sponsorship and talk a little bit about how we've been able to manage things and what that's actually allowing me to do now. So what we're looking at is at the administrative back end of the Connect Center's Neon CRM system. I've been working with Ben for a few years, as I mentioned, and a lot of it has also been on how they could utilize their technology better. And so right now it shows the back end. So I'm 18% cash in hand per se to the goal. And I also have an open pledge. And so I want to thank my donors, but I'm not going to click into anything here. Because it's not about the amounts overall, it's about the overall support that I've received. So that's been really nice to also have that come in automatically because of the forms that you can kind of check out here. And so I have a donation page using Neon CRM for a few different things. This is the primary one that you see here. But going back to the administrative back end, now, even when I'm going into something like the campaign itself, I sat down with the Connect Center team, specifically Ben, and walked over kind of how are we going to manage this? What are we going to do in terms of how money's going to come in? For instance, people might send checks to me, but they are going to be made out to the Connect Center. I can't put anything in my business account when it comes to the pilot. It needs to go through Ben. So that's already working out great. We were able to kind of get the first thing going. So I was able to buy the boxes for the game. And so even setting up things like the landing page has been really easy to kind of make that story go, and also to integrate it into indicating that this is a fiscal sponsorship. And I've also been able to do that in the receipts as well. And so let's take a look at what somebody gets when they give. So we're in the system email setting of the Neon CRM system. So I set up a condition for anytime anyone donates to this campaign that they're able to get this letter. So you are a generous person because you showed your belief in changing how we educate nonprofit leaders. So notice I didn't talk about the money first. I talked about the person. I'm trying to build a connection with this. People do not give to nonprofits, they give through nonprofits, right? And especially in a fiscal sponsored project like this, I would love for people to understand, explore, and appreciate the amazing work that Ben is doing at the Connect Center every single day. But they're also giving because they believe in this peer learning network. The practical reality is that the world does not need necessarily more nonprofits. They definitely don't need me starting a nonprofit. I'm excited to work with the Connect Center because Ben understands the vision that I have for a peer learning network because he lived it. He went through this. We tried to actually create a program for this at my last company, and generally these are just difficult things to do when it is not your primary focus. And I fell in love with that idea during that process. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without the things that I learned and failed at along the way. And there was a lot of failures. I screwed a lot of stuff up. I probably drove my teammates crazy. But the reality is that you have to try in order to grow. And if you get bumped along the way, that's okay. And I'm going to get bumped along the way in this journey. But what I do deeply, deeply believe is that something like this needs to exist if we are going to get through this next period. I saw yet another announcement of a big investment in civic infrastructure. And the reality is that we do not know how to talk to each other anymore. Nonprofits are not. What this does and what I want to create is to gather people around from different perspectives and allow you, as somebody who cares about civic society, cares about charity, cares about generosity as being a part of your identity. That's who this is for. So I have to thread that needle when I'm working as a fiscal sponsor. I want you to care about the work that Ben is doing at the Connect Center. But I also know that the people who are giving because they believe in what I am talking about. And so having this infrastructure is amazing, but we need to build more. We need to be able to fund the virtual conference platforms that I want to use to create not only an amazing experience, but to better understand people's experience. I want to be able to create really beautiful art, working with local artists like PJ Engel to actually make people proud of the thing that they're holding, right? Like there's only so much you could do with digital PDFs being downloaded. It just makes you feel disconnected from the work, right? That's why this is a physical game first. And then, yes, I want in the future to work with experts to help inform how this can be used to work through more traumatic situations in the workplace, in society, in working with donors in very difficult conversations. There is so much possibility that I have seen already in this game, because I've worked with nonprofit leaders, thousands of them. This is for the 97%, especially, who are just struggling. It's not even a revenue size thing. There's so many large teams that I've talked to in the fundraising operation side, especially individual giving. It's lonely out there, right? You might have a really big healthcare organization. The reality is the individual giving team might feel less resourced than some of the 500,000 organizations that I've worked with. This is for them. This is for you. We can't keep trying and saying we're going to invest in infrastructure and then the meetings break down and everything goes to hell. So that's why I'm excited about where we are. That's why I'm excited that we're basically 25% already toward a goal that I know is weeks away. It's not till April 20th that I am hoping to have this locked down. And I'm already planning for the future. Grants, really exciting philanthropic conversations, as well as conversations with different companies as well, so we can do this in a really ethical and amazing, responsible way when it comes to things like the AI analysis, right? I just wrote that piece about nonprofit AI and a Declaration of Independence. I believe in that, obviously. So I want to be able to work with nonprofits as well as technology companies to figure all this type of stuff out. So, okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. This is just how I'm feeling this Friday. I am so excited for the future. I'm so excited for next week. I'm so excited for 2026. Let's go get this.